Hello, people. Today, let us talk about fear. What is it that you, as an individual, are most scared of? Like, I know that I'm scared of losing my parents, okay? Losing my time. I'm scared of losing my identity. And I do whatever it takes to stop that from happening, okay? So, what is it that stops us from losing ourselves? First of all, anything, you know, whatever stops us from losing, from anything is our fear and the many narrations and actions that we take around fear. Now, I see that there is some, you know, habit, some mental uh, disbalance in today's world around fear that we have lost ourselves, we have lost our willpower, and we have lost our journey towards excellence from mediocrity and probably from zero. Now, it is interesting to see how many options in life are available today than it were yesterday. Okay, Ex- I mean, excellent amount of universities are providing their courses online, and that is available today. Like you can just learn something sitting at home, and you can still be excellent at it. You know, and you can have a degree. You can use that degree to get a great job. But what is so wrong with making an effort? And in my personal life, I have always noticed this that whenever I give in to fear, I delay success. Okay. Now, along with this video, along with these lifestyle advices and choices, I'm going to talk about many other funny incidents that I have gone through in my life. But yes, let us talk about how fear disrupts our normal natural life. Now, you know that there is a very famous quote I think it is a quote by a writer that half of your fears are imaginary. If you stop thinking about them, they will go away. Now, just because a quote says something to you doesn't mean that it is real either. So you check with yourself that whatever you are scared of, is the fear real? First of all, ask this to yourself that okay, I feel that today I am scared of opening the window and sitting by the window even if it gives me a good enough view because I'm scared of somebody will get to see me. It will hamper my privacy in one way or the other. It will hamper my evening in one way or the other. So you immediately shut that window and you sit here. You relax inside in a very cozy and a very closed world. Okay. But then when you let yourself open that window and sit a bit there and relax, you feel that okay, everything is just fine. Okay. That it's okay that somebody is seeing you, getting to see the interior of your household, maybe how the walls are at the opposite, etc., etc. Now, what is wrong with getting stuck in a sense of fear? Should I keep the window open? Should I keep the window closed? Should I just make a move? What will happen if they see? See, the thing is, it depends on who is out there. Okay, you are the one that is out there. Okay, instead of thinking that, okay, a stranger will be able to see me, just think that, you know instead of thinking that a stranger will be able to see me, just think that, okay, even today, if I were passing by, I am the one who will be able to see me. For example, today I woke up very early in the morning, and I had like a very beautiful bird was cooing up on the tree, and I was feeling very relaxed. Okay, I wanted to open the balcony door and stand outside, but I had a kind of a feeling that kept me away from it. I felt like, God, maybe a lot of people are out there walking, doing their things, you know, and they will see me, whatnot. But then, as I'm recording this video, I hear the same bird noise all over again. Feel a little bit, sorry that I didn't wake up that time and I didn't go out in the balcony and hear that beautiful sound of the bird. Now, what is it that I think is harmful with this kind of behavior? First of all, see, if you are okay, you ask this with yourself. Now, this example that I'm using is a very minuscule, uh, idea, a very minuscule incident. Okay, let us take up career choices, etc., etc. Okay, but for this video, let us stick to the window thing. Okay, are you okay? Like, is it okay for you to be not able to hear the birds and just stay in? Or if you're okay as a person who is like not listening to the birds, and you can just stay in, is it okay for you? See, everything is important because we put our sense of importance in it. For example, um the chirping of a bird is pleasant and beautiful because of what it does to our well-being. Okay, similarly, the the noise of a distant vehicle is thrilling for us because we know what it does to us. The sound of our loved ones is also thrilling to us because we know what it does to us. Okay, because we put an effort and listen to those things, they get into our lives. Now the world works as it is supposed to work. Okay, yes, just like today, like I mentioned that sometimes I just look at other people's households and I see that, wow, they have such a beautiful window, they have such a beautiful wind chime from hanging from their terrace. Wow, their plants are so well taken care of. Okay, it gives me an idea about the kind of people lives inside, but it also gives me a sense of well-being. So be sure that when you are doing something out there, people will take notice. Okay, now why am I talking about this thing about being observed by others? Because it is something that I have felt. you know sometimes it gets on my nerves, sometimes it makes me feel scared that like, okay, I don't know how I will feel if people observe me working, doing something. Like there is this very usual incident that when you are at a wedding party or somewhere in India, the videographer comes and they record you eating, and you don't know where to stare, how to hold the spoon, what where to look, whether you should look at the camera and smile. It happens, right? Similar things have happened to everyone. Now let us talk about a different kind of fear, the fear of losing. What is it that you feel can stop you from achieving anything if you believe in yourself? Okay, the fear of losing is something that we all have. The most celebrated athletes to the most celebrated people out there, the most successful scientists, the most successful actors, the most successful people out there are, you know successful and thriving because of a very tough competition out there. But they don't give up, they don't give in, they move on from that. They work with the idea of the competition, they invest whatever they have to invest, they invest how much time they need to invest, and they still carry on with life. Okay, and they continue being successful as much as they can. But what is it that, like, I have seen that there is a whole generation of people that is lost because of this fear of losing. See, whenever you are doing something, like let's say I was cooking, like I was just the other day, I was cooking a new meal, a new recipe that I have never tried out, and I tried to do that thing. Okay, it didn't turn out that well. I burned half of the things, but I was okay. That okay, I've at least tried it. The next time I had it in my mind that, since I wanted to treat my parents, my grandmother, I wanted badly to cook it in a very better way. Not just to not burn it, but to cook it in a much more, uh, you know, precise manner so that I can, learn something. Then the third time, I wanted to make it look better. So, this is how you should deal with the fear of losing. Sometimes the fear of losing gets so much that you don't even take action, and I know why that happens. I can tell you that if you are someone who has given up an opportunity, uh, etc., etc., it is because of the fear of losing. But why does that happen? It happens because probably you have had a lot of failures in life. Probably you have not been in a zone for long where you get to achieve something. Probably you have not been that connected to your work. Probably you have not taken enough risks. Okay. Now, what you can do, you can just move out and start doing something. Now, the third kind of fear is the fear of the unknown. See, today, I mean, if you read the news, you will hear about anything, right? Probably there is some economic crush going on somewhere. Probably there is some new law that is passed that will, you know, stop you from functioning in a particular way. Probably there is some, like maybe there is some issue with the market nearest to your home. Some bad news that happens in your city. Whatever you are scared of today might become a reality tomorrow. Nobody, nothing can change that. Okay? Whatever you are scared of today might become a reality tomorrow. For example, today, if you are scared that, oh my God, like despite all my savings and all my earnings, I might lose money. It might happen. You might fall trapped to scammers, and yeah, it might happen. You know, what if I lose my life? It can happen. So the best thing you can do is that you can become as successful as you can in taking measures against all these things and continue doing your work. Now, if you find that your fear is stopping you from doing good work, then maybe you can speak it out to somebody. Like, for example, if you are somebody who is, you know, let's say you want to move to a different city, find a new job, okay? And you think that, okay, this is very risky. It's okay. If it is that important to you, you speak to somebody who is experienced with that, who is habituated with that. Then you move on with that kind of idea. You know, today, whatever you're trying to do, there is a chance that even in your locality, unless and until you're living in an island, okay, in your locality, 1,000 people have done it. 1,000 people have done it. Okay. I mean, not 1,000, but at least you will find one who have done it. So go out to that person, speak to that person, and gather some knowledge. If you are moving somewhere else, speak to that person that like, okay, this is how it is over here, this is how things are over there, and yeah, I can give you a better picture. Come over, let us have a chat, I will show you around, etc., etc. Another kind of fear is the loss of a sense of guidance, which is something that you can stop only when you recover it. Okay, like this is uh, again, this is going to be a bit sensitive, but I must take courage and put it out there nonetheless. That I know that there are many people who look up to spiritual and religious figures and look for opinion and look for, let's say, what can I say? Opinion, look for guidance, like they do certain kind of worship, they do certain kind of things, and like they do the puja, they do the worship to gain some guidance from the religious figures. But the real guidance comes from yourself, your parents, your surroundings. Okay, yes, does have religion and spirituality does have a lot to teach us. For example, it has whole, like if you look at it that way, a whole generation, civilizations were formed uh, based out on religion. It was a source of guidance, it was a source of light, law, organization. But I have seen that there are many matured people out there who say that, like, okay, I have put across this prayer, I will find an answer and I will follow that path. Sometimes these things turn out to be fruitful, sometimes these things don't turn out to be that fruitful. Often these things turn out to be a bit risky. Okay, like I know that there was this friend of mine who went to uh, who went to a who went to a person in a temple asking for career advice, and the person gave her such an advice that was just not feasible. It was not something that will either fetch her any identity income, or it was not even doable by her parents. She borrowed money, she did all that, and she carried on. Later on, when she failed, she couldn't even tell her parents that, of course, later on she confronted that, like, I was given advice by this person, you know, at the temple, and that is why I am following this path. But it is not always the same. Sometimes these advices do work, okay? But most of the time, we tend to depend so much on, uh, just one source of advice that we get lost. We get lost in the walk of life, etc., etc. Now, what is it that stops us from relieving that source of guidance? Maybe we are living in that an isolated and closed world that it almost feels that we are living in an island. And you have no one out there to speak to, seek advice, and learn a bit. Is it doable? Ask yourself, is it doable? Is it not doable? I think it is doable to socialize a bit more, to understand, and to move on and to follow that path. But if you seek advice, another kind of habit that I have seen is that people seek advice from children, you know, people who have no idea that they are far more experienced, knowledgeable, happier, more cheerful than the others, and they seek advice from children. People like children who are just toddlers. I have seen it. I have seen that people, I mean, I know a senior, the person had taken an advice from a child who is hardly 10 years old, and the person got scared about what is happening with their life, and they left their job, and they did some very funny things, and that happened. Okay, so life moves on in its own pace. If you are somebody who is extremely scared about what will happen, the fear of the unknown, see, whatever has to happen will happen. Okay, but if you are also, just check with yourself that, am I someone who is extremely careful and intelligent? I believe you are. If you are somebody who has these many fears lurking on your head day in and day out, then I believe that you are somebody extremely intelligent, extremely intellectual, and extremely careful, and is also very realistic. So, what can you do? Take note of all this fear. What if I lose? What if I regret? What if I lose my direction in life? And do whatever you can to stay in that zone where you are constantly moving against your fear instead of staying in an imaginary island where you just talk to your fears and your fears talk to you, and you do nothing in life. So now I'll give you a bit of a thought experiment And you can check with yourself. See, today, do you want to, let's say it is 2 a.m. in the night. Do you want to just go out and have a walk in your neighborhood and feel like, oh, I'm so relaxed? Because the neighborhood is so simple, and it is so calm and quiet. It is hardly I hardly find this calm and quiet in the neighborhood. Is it doable? Okay, now you have a fear of not going out in public because it is crowded, so many people out there, pollution, noise pollution, etc., etc. So you choose the 2 a.m., okay, and you go out there. Are you sure that this will not add more to your fear? I'm sure that it will, right? So, whichever thing you're canceling out from life, okay, like, okay, I will not go to work because right now I don't feel like it. Today I will make up for it. Done. So, what happens is that you start to have a fantasy about that tomorrowland, about thinking that, like I have a tomorrowland where I am living in a fantasy. And then eventually, you don't do justice to the resources you have in your life. Okay. Let's say you feel that, I don't want to do this thing. Tomorrow, somebody or the other will do it, you know, and you will keep on isolating yourself like no, no, at 2 a.m. in the morning I will go out. God knows what will happen to you at 2 a.m. Worst things ever, right? Even if you are just out there with a very reliable person. So, what can you do? Maybe you can understand that this is how the world is. Opportunities are there, competition is also there. It is crowdy out there. It is very uh, it is very like there is pollution, there are the shortcomings. Not your city, your like your neighborhood will not be able to meet all of your necessities. So at the end of the day, it is you who has to do a bit of adjustment. People, you must adjust a bit. If you don't, then your surroundings will not adjust to you. And I'll tell you one thing, it is because of these kind of habits that you end up in debt. Like I have seen people who just can't adjust to the noise outside, or maybe they can't adjust to the kind of neighborhood they are in. They shift homes just like that, spend lakhs of money, and stop being resourceful. Because why? Because they have lost so much suddenly because of their sense of well being. And then suddenly they are, like probably they have taken up an EMI, whatnot, and a big chunk of their time is gone. So, what is it that you can do when life stares at you in a very blank way? I mean, blank in a very blunt way. You can check with yourself that do you have the courage to work properly? Do you have the courage to uh, do something? Now, just understand that whenever you talk a lot about fear, okay, courage is also something that comes your path. Then comes confidence, then comes self belief, self esteem, your net worth, your surroundings. all those things which you can put aside and move ahead in life. See, like, today just go and type motivational quotes, motivational things. You will find a lot of motivational songs, quotes, etc., etc. They are very heartwarming. But are they about you? Are those, like, just yesterday in a video I was telling you that, I was thinking that there is this quote about life is out there. Just imagine that there is a person who is working hard enough at their office and they are being told life is out there, and they suddenly decided, like, I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to do that thing. Does it work? No, it doesn't always work. Okay, so if you are somebody who likes to believe in fear, in courage, in things like life is out there, in things like, sunshine, follow your sunshine, uh monsoon doesn't last, who knows what should be followed, what doesn't last, what lasts, and what is what, who knows. Everything is changeable, everything is changing, everything is moving. Like that book from Hemingway. I mean, I don't know if this is very much relevant, but it is as if life is a kind of like a feast that is always moving. And if you have the time or the money and the resources, you can think that, maybe you are not scared, you are just lagging behind. That is number one. You are just a bit sad about your present state in life, and you need a break, you need distraction, you need to be distracted a bit from your fear. So, how can you use distractions for your benefit? And of course, so that the fear doesn't get to you that much. Please understand that you can distract yourself. Use your money, time, etc. to distract yourself, to keep yourself distracted, but still life will happen. Okay. For example, today, let's say you feel like, okay, the project is too much, the work is too much. I just want to, sit back and binge watch movies for 10 days straight. You know, some people do that. I have had colleagues who do these things. You should not. Why? Because, okay, it is okay if you get distracted, but does distraction give us a proper sense of life? Does distraction give us clarity? No, it gives us some picture. Okay, like if you watch a movie, it will make you, okay, it will take you to a different world of fantasy. It will help you zone out a bit. It will help you to relax, stay calm. Like, it is something that you just, like, okay, one episode gone, then the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. But what will you get back the time? If you think that, I need to binge watch a movie, watch it just in your head. Do that thing in your head, watch that movie. Imagine that, 10 days have gone and you have just watched movies. Of course you feel great. You feel like you deserve a lot better because the movie shows you a lot of good images. You feel amazing, you feel happy, you feel like you belong to the world of fantasy. And then as a consequence, you start to feel that, there is something that you have not done correct with your life. You can change your looks, you can do this, you can do that. Out there are people who are happy, and this whole out there fantasy, life out there, people out there, places out there, money out there, thoughts out there, positivity out there, sunshine out there, me out there, your life out there. Is it Is it something that you want to do forever? No, right? Distractions at the end of the day are just distractions. If you find yourself getting caught in the idea that, there is something out there is life out there, then you should be able to justify and explain the same thing to yourself, that what does it mean? Like in one of my videos, I have spoken up about it, right? Like out there, what is out there? If you are at your workplace doing some work, then what is out there? Nothing. You are here, your work desk is here, that is all. If you think that you are that unsatisfied with life, then maybe you need to stop whatever you are doing and take a different route towards life altogether. Take a second chance in life. Do something. But if you don't do, and if you sit along with your fear, then you will see. I'm not even talking about not being able to achieve anything. You will see that in your head, you know, in your clear and functionable and intelligent head, you have all your fears solved. But as you move out of that zone, things are not working. Things are not, conversations are not going the way you want your conversations to be in. You know, it might be that you go out with a friend on an evening walk on a daily basis, and suddenly you had a fight with that friend, and you come back home feeling scared that, okay, what if I lose this friend? I will lose out on my partner for my evening walk. I will lose out on a friend with whom I go out and have a little bit of snack every day. I will lose out on a friend with whom I just have a little chat. Then I will be back into that imaginary island. That all the fear around it, anything is possible. It might happen. So what you do, and trust me people, even I was like this. The moment I sense that, okay, some changes are about to happen, I instantly go back and I think and I overthink that, okay, maybe this is how I should put it across to that friend. Maybe I should, start having a conversation regarding something I might have said. Maybe I should stop being so demanding to that friend. Maybe I should just think that, like, oh God, what will she think? What will happen? And I have this whole setup, whole world of perfectness where I am, like there, and things are also there, and that friend in my imaginary imagination is there, and that, in that world of imagination, I have me, I have my friend, I have that situation which I think might uh, get bigger and bigger, and I have a full, like, 2 to 3 hours of talk with her, and I suddenly get like that thing that, okay, this is how I should have done it. This is what I missed. I should have very much, I should have just gone out, spoken to her, given her this idea, being a little more there for her, etc., etc. But sometimes it gets way too much. Okay, in this case I will say that giving in is actually an option. And the more you give in, the more you start to realize that you were stuck with a very obvious thing. Okay. So, see, in this case, you can tell that this is how fear leads you towards a savior complex zone. Does it help to be a savior person? No. You are a savior in your imagination. The problem is something that the people have walked into, and you cannot solve it entirely. You might lose out on a friend, but there are so many people out there. Like, we live in a population that is never ending, and it will never end probably. So, what is there to be done? We must either give in to fear, like it's okay, I have realized that, life is that scary, or you must rise above your fear, rise above people. Don't be so scared of things. Like, this is the worst fear of losing people. Okay, now you ask yourself that is that friend. See, if you have developed a fear of losing someone, then I'm sure that the person also should have developed a fear as well. That, like, okay, have you, like, while you are having these imaginary conversations, have you ever thought that, this person, this other person who is probably doing something more productive, they might also be also having a proper conversation? That, okay, what if she is that, uh, what if she is not okay with something? What if she is not that angry? What if she is that angry? What if she is not that sad? What if she is that sad? What can you do? Maybe you can be happy that you still have life. When nothing works, you can be happy that you still have life. But when you in the in this zone of imaginary fears and imaginary conversations, then you might just not be okay with life anymore. Then life will keep on saying sorry to you, and you will be saying sorry to everyone out there. And the only good thing, like, I have had this, friend of mine long back. She was more comfortable, like, she told this to me once, that, I was more comfortable saying sorry than I was comfortable doing anything else. Like, she would make a statement about something she believes in, then she would say sorry, and that's it. And, like, before and after she would even make her comment, she would just say sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And, you know how sorry I am. And then immediately, she would start to apologize. And the only thing that will make her feel a bit at peace is to be apologetic. Then, okay, now you have understood that, being apologetic is that important. Why? Because maybe you have crossed a line. So just ask this to yourself, that if life is actually this way, that, you either play with the rules, you win over the rules, or you be apologetic, then should you just decide that, do I stick to the rules? Then I can tell you that it is okay to stick to the rules of life and be happy that, you are hurting none. And, like, this is also a very good philosophy. This is a very good idea, that okay, you have hurt none. Nobody was hurt by you. It is the philosophy of Buddhism. I have always practiced Buddhism, and it is a very good philosophy for life. Many religions out there do preach it. Nobody hurt no one. Nobody should be hurt in your way of life. And that takes out a whole bunch of being hurtful. So, like, this is a side note. We just understand that when you are hurting someone, you are also signing up for these many steps later. I mean, unless and until you are cruel, rude, and narcissistic, the moment you are hurting, lying, and disrupting someone's journey of happiness, you are doing these things. You are signing up for a bit of apology. You are signing up for some kind of sadness. You're sign if you have a bit of heart, you are signing up for, what can I tell, some sort of uh, unhealthy conversation with yourself. You're signing up for uh, an imaginary questionnaire in your head, and you are signing up for, you know never ending inquiry about what did you do wrong. You probably did a mistake by hurting someone. So if you are that scared, if this is a fear that you lurk in all the time, like, I mean, usually fear lurks about our head, but it is you who lurk into fear. I mean, people like this, they, like, it is, imagine that there are these, like, series of houses, okay, like this and that, and then the next kind of fear. These people, like, if you are this kind of a person, probably you wake up, you get ready, and you walk into different kinds of fear on a daily basis. Like, today this, the next day that, this and that, and this and that. So, if fear, confidence, etc., etc., is something that comes to your life on a daily basis, then I think you have lost it already. Like, maybe you need to retire for just a while, be restive, and think that, okay, have I been that hurtful towards people? Have I been that hurtful towards my surroundings? Yes, probably yes. If you are constantly like, scared of something, scared of putting the truth out there, saying something, then probably yes, you have done something that sad. But this is life. This is life. We do mistake. The legendary people do mistake. On, I mean, they do legendary mistake. Legendary people do legendary mistake. They do it. But if you like to have a party with fear, then I am sorry. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for for the area that you are in. I feel sorry for your parents. I feel sorry for everyone out there. Why do I feel sorry? I feel sorry because you would rather be scared than to go out and enjoy the sunshine a bit. You would rather be sad than have a proper funny conversation with someone. You would rather be apologetic than be a little outgoing. I mean, you would rather be, you know, a, a criminal in your head than accept that, okay, life has done something. Like, how yesterday I was giving out the example of the forest. The You have taken some wrong route in life where you must not go, the dark, dark forest, but suddenly everything seems fine. So, what can you do? Nothing, you know, like, just walk out of that zone of fear. Maybe that is the most doable thing. Now, the another kind of fear is the most practical fear, I'll tell you. It is the fear of ghosts, the fear of wild animals. Like, for a very long time of mine, and even now I have a fear of dogs, like stray dogs. and I keep away from them. And like to add a very funny incident to this, I have a fear that whenever I am traveling by train, something will happen to the train. And it got elevated when like I the fear was became a bit more vivid when I read that Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. And yes, that's true. So if you find yourself in fear, move on from that fear and find many other realms of the world where you can find happiness. Otherwise, you will grow bad things in life. You will grow uh, sadness. You will grow unhealthy lifestyle. You will grow mental health issues. You will start speaking to the walls. You will start speaking unnecessary things, and that will not help you earn a single amount of money, earn a livelihood, earn an income, or anything. These things will happen to you. Okay? So instead of fear, instead of being scared, learn to give up. That, okay, I give up and move on with life. Okay?